Hi, and welcome back to Paper Fury with Kristen Sluin. I am so glad you're here. I apologize if my voice sounds a little strange. I had some allergy issues while I was gone on spring break, and I'm still recovering and still quite a bit stuffy. So, I am going to share with you today a card that I made for the Simon Says Stamp Instagram hop that was earlier while I was still on spring break. And this is the card that I made using their new Mod Flowers stamp set. And there is nothing better to send someone to make them smile than a shaker card. So this shaker card has lots of gold sequins to really make someone smile. This stamp set has 5 different retro looking florals, plus it has sentiments that you can send for any occasion. Now I'm pulling out a stamping platform, and I will be using craft paper for this project. I went with lots of different colors, but decided that that's the way I wanted to go because I had some inspiration, and I'll share that a little bit later. So I'm starting with the 2 of the flower images. I will only be using one of them for my card, but you will see me have some stamping done with the second floral image. But this is the floral image that I ended up using on the card that we're doing today. I'm using Distress Oxide inks, and I've chosen 2 different colors, Pickled Raspberry and Mowed Lawn. Now I'm going to mask off my image that I want to stamp. As you can see, I have that first one that I played with some other colors, and I didn't really like how it came out. So I've now opted to brighten it up, and I use some purple tape from Altenew to mask off the part of the stamp that I didn't want to be green. And I've decided, because I really want these colors to really pop off of that craft paper, I am stamping them 3 times just to give a good saturation of color here. Now, when I do use my stamp wheel, I really like to leave the alignment guide in there. Just as you saw when I went to lift up my stamp set, it kind of pulled up the paper a little bit because the ink was so sticky, and I don't want to mess up my images. So if I have that alignment guide in there, it will always be in the correct place because I just press it into that corner. Now that I've stamped the green part of the flower, I'm going to use a new piece of tape. And because the stem kind of goes into the flower a little bit, I'm going to just cut a piece of that purple tape so that it'll cover up the full amount of the green that I've already stamped. And then I'm going to move on with the pickled raspberry. I mean, this color is just so yummy. So I will go ahead and stamp this as well 3 times, just like I did with the green ink. The inspiration for this card actually came from a box that I received the same day I received this stamp set from FabFitFun. When you opened the box, it was filled with all of these retro looking flowers just like this stamp set, and it was done in all these great colors on top of craft paper. So you just never know where your inspiration is going to come from when you are doing your creating. Now, fussy cutting is the bane of my existence. I'm good at it, but I just don't like doing it. However, this stamp set at the time that I had it did not have a die cut. So I went ahead and fussy cut out this flower. Good thing is it's a very easy cut. It's not like it was very intricate, so it's very easy to do. So if you do decide to get this stamp set and there isn't a die set that goes with it, just cut them out. Super easy. Now you can see my other flower there. Just disregard it. I'm not using it, obviously, for this project. I am using, however, the Simon Says Stamp Diamond Warp Embossing folder. I think it's really fun, and it complements the stamp set incredibly well. I'm going to run it through my impress so that it embosses it, and look at how pretty that is. I just love the texture, and with that shaker card, it's kind of like a Plinko board, like from The Price is Right. Am I aging myself here? Anyway, I decided that I did want to make this into a shaker card. So I am using Altenew nesting ovals to create the opening for my shaker card. There is an orange piece of paper and white piece of paper sitting here because I was really looking at possibly doing a little bit more with the mod flower or the mod retro kind of color combination, because orange and pink and green together is very 60s, 70s, early 70s kind of thing, right? But at the end, I really felt that the craft kind of took it away from that, and it really just looks so much better, all craft for the background with the flower popping off from that. So that is the way I went. Now for my shaker window, I am using the leftover packaging from when I received the stamp set, and I just cut it to size to fit an A2 card front. Then for my foam, I'm using the Altenew Dimension foam, which is my favorite to use. And I love that they have actually just recently come out with the thicker version, which is what I have here. And it eliminates the need to have to double up your foam tape. I highly recommend getting some of this. It is available on the Altenew website or on the Simon Says Stamp website. And it really is. It's a game changer. Just put it that way. It's a game changer. Go ahead and get the thicker foam. It is worth the investment. Again, because I really wanted to get some more color in here, I decided to play around with some of the shaker colors, pulled out all the different things that I had available to me. And when I saw this like muted gold, I was like, I think gold is the way to go. It's very retro, very 70s, very 60s. So that's what I opted to do. Put away all the rest of my sparkle because I love my sparkle, and went with just the plain gold. It really was the best choice. Now, I'm not sure how you choose to put your sparkles in your shaker cards, but I like putting it on the base of the background. Just because if you flip over the card front, you can't really line up very well. I know that sometimes you run into the issue where you might accidentally tap it and it will move and get underneath the stick, but I really usually don't have too much of that problem. As long as I put it in the middle and it's not too high of a pile, I will definitely, it works a lot better for me that way. And there's my little Rachel Ray garbage can, and oh, look, there's one that fell in there. So pulling those out and going ahead and setting it down to create my shaker card. See how easy that is? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Then I just trim off anything that made it a little bigger or went off to the edge, and it's going to fit perfectly on a card front. Next, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my flower with some liquid adhesive onto the front, centering it on there. And it just looks so cute already. Now, I am, as you know, a sparkle girl, and I have to add a lot more sparkle. So I am adding some Wink of Stella all over the entire flower. I'm doing the flower bit in pink as well as in the green. I mean, I just cannot help that I love sparkle, and I'm a sparkleaholic. It's official. I'm a sparkleaholic. And the Wink of Stella is such an easy product to use, and it just adds such a beautiful little bit of shimmer to everything. I really love it. Now that I'm finished with the extra sparkle, it is now time to put on a sentiment. Now, this stamp set comes with a bunch of great sentiments, perfect for really like a friend, for any kind of occasion. And I have decided to keep it simple, and instead of using the big hello or the big friend, I'm just using one of the secondary sentiments. And it says, "You make me smile," which is really kind of perfect for any occasion. So I am using the leftover piece that came out of the center of my front of my card, and I'm going to stamp it on here. And I'm decided I'm going to do some gold embossing for it. That way it complements and brings in the gold from the sequins, and it's just a perfect combination. I use deli paper for collecting my embossing powders. That way it is not going to mix with anything, any little flecks that might get left on a coffee filter. They're super cheap. You can throw them away, and they're biodegradable. I mean, it's kind of like a brainless thing, right? You got to use them. Now I'm going to be using the Altenew Featured Sentiments die set to cut out my sentiment. I use these all the time, and I know that there are a lot of different brands out there. Invest in one of these type of stamp sets. They really are perfect. And I use highlighter tape for anything that I need to send through the die cutting machine. It barely has any adhesive, but it will hold it down for you when you are going through the die cutting machine. Finally, I am going to adhere this sentiment using some foam tape, and I will also pull out my Simon Says stamp T-square. I like to do this with these kinds of sentiments because you want to make sure that it is perfectly parallel with the edges of your card. There's nothing worse than having one kind of slanting a little bit. It makes you look like you're, I don't know, a little lopsided. So as you can see, it's perfectly parallel. And I love the shake because it does stick to that embossing folder in the background. So it kind of does look like a Plinko when you hold it up to look at it. It's really kind of fun to watch. Now, I really appreciate the fact that you are here today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you would like to follow me on Instagram or would like to check out more information on my blog, I would love to see you there. Make sure you drop a little line, a little comment, a little like, something so I can acknowledge that you are there. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for joining me again, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful day. Bye.